captain of the Pimps, with the guy who dies. Cameron is my co-caster.
I don't know how I feel about that introduction, but
Well, that's how it's going to be. This is the fourth week of the FPL. We have Robbie, captain of the House of the Commons, versus Ayush, captain of the Burp squad. And we're down for a battle between two masters of their craft. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
They've both had pretty good performances in the past. There's a bit of a history between the two because normally when Robbie is close to getting a playoffs appearance, Ayush is actually the one who kind of edges him out of that. So, Robbie's definitely looking to win for that. And Ayush actually, this season, as some of you may have noticed, has not gotten a win yet.
He's only gone defeated, believe it or not.
Yeah, it is very surprising to me because, I've never seen a performance from him be, this slow to start. But, I am thinking that this battle could get the ball rolling for him to say. Why don't you, maybe elaborate a bit on that matchup?
If we're now, this isn't a matchup. This is a demolition. I'm going to be completely honest here. Thwacky with a Melmetal. You have Sylveon as a wish passer. Weezing's very good. Drotagon with that classic Ayush Dragon Tail set. And Raikou is just an all-around good special attacker.
Right.
They demolished this team.
There are a lot of tools that Robbie really has to figure out because normally Spiritomb into Melmetal would be pretty good. You could get that Will-O-Wisp off. But Sylveon is not only great into Spiritomb, but it also happens to be his cleric. So, one of his only ways of really dealing with that Melmetal is shut down by one of Ayush's tools. And then another tool we got is the Grookey. Now, I mean, if this thing, be it Choice Band or Life Orb, it can do a lot of damage here. Yeah. I mean, Talonflame is probably able to stop it as well as Metagross. But I mean, even Metagross is going to be taking a lot of damage from something like Stomping Tantrum.
Mm-hmm.
And, at such a low point pick, you really don't want that to be threatening you so much where more than half of your team has to be afraid.
Yeah.
Speaking of Metagross, it's a tough matchup.
Yeah, it is. This Robbie did do a few massive trades. I think at the end of week 2.
I believe so.
He traded out Mew for for Tornadus, or is this Thunder? I can't ever remember. The blue guy.
It's Thundurus.
It's Thundurus. Yeah. Okay, there we go. And then he traded out Magnezone or Magneton for Metagross. And right. I think I don't know about the Mew trade. I think this Metagross trade was a good one. So I'm hoping to see it do work in this battle.
Also worthy of noting, I mean, Thundurus has not really seen usage in the league up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, this could be a proof of concept that, maybe it's something that's worth picking, but we'll have to see in this battle and more if Robbie can squeeze some value out of that.
Very true. All right, let's get into it.
Yeah. So we're going to see a Drotagon lead, very standard from Ayush, and actually a Thundurus lead, probably looking to get some Volt switches. Goes right into Quagsire on the Glare instead of Rocks. I do really like that as an option on the Drotagon. Just provides some extra utility to your team.
And this call does nothing.
Nope.
Unfortunately.
No, that Dragon Resist in chat. Really good. Classic Jules in chat. And are we going to see a Scald burn? And we do burn.
It's a burn.
The Thwacky, but we can U-turn right out and go into Sylveon perhaps here and just get a cleanse off. But we do see actually a Grassy Glide.
It's quad weak. It wasn't the worst play. And we do see that U-turn coming out.
Yep. I mean, if you outspeed, right, there's no reason not to go for the extra chip, so it does make sense. Poltergeist is
Big
going to be doing a lot.
Poltergeist. Yeah.
But, I mean, Drudigan is not one of those threats you have to get rid of. So if you're taking any amount of chip on the Spiritomb from that, you know, it's a little tricky. Poltergeist revealing an Assault Vest on the Melmetal, so, you know, Talonflame might not be able to threaten it as much as you normally would expect.
A big boy bash.
A resisted bash doing 41%. That is scary, especially with that paralysis. You could see a Paraflinch here just take it out, but Ayush opts to go for a bit of a safer play and just get that cleanse off on the Quagsire.
Into Metagross.
And we are going to be seeing Heal Bell right there. Yep. This is, you know, this is the problem. I mean, Robbie's taking damage, and that's permanent on the Spiritomb, whereas with these Wish Passers, you don't really have to worry as much about chip. You know, what you really have to be afraid of is either setting up or you know, losing one of those walls, because once a piece is loose, you know, it's easy to break apart these teams, but you gotta, you know, really struggle to disrupt that.
Check for the Thwacky coming out in the Talonflame. Seems like he does have the heavy duty boots on this battle. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, but now, you know, switching out Talonflame here is risky because you're taking 50% when you come back in.
And that was a crit, and it only did 41% of the Weezing's health.
Yeah, I mean, Dweebing is, you know, he's kind of a champ. I think Ayush got some really good value in picking him because it's just got some great stats, and it provides a good amount of utility and checks a lot of these physical mons.
And with those rocks and those toxic spikes up, everything is going to be taking a whole lot of entry damage from those hazards, as well as toxic. And Robbie is not normally one to bring defoggers or spinners. So
nope. Which is funny because you could actually see it. It's normally an option for Talonflame. So I'm, you know, a little surprised we don't get that out. But it is actually looking good for Robbie right now. He is up a Mon. But the problem is the Mons that he's up with. So Talonflame, as we mentioned, is one of his only options for checking Melmetal. Whereas Drudigan and Weezing are really both only there to set up the hazards for Ayush. So, you know, he's not really sweating right now from losing those two.
Yeah. When we were looking at these teams, it's really the Melmetal and the Sylveon that we were looking at. The Grookey is also, or the Thwacky is also fantastic. That's still a lot of damage from that close combat.
Right. I mean, you saw the Flame Orb come up, so you do know that's guts, but even resisted, you know, doing that much is an impressive amount, and I think Robbie did find a good amount of value from this Hariyama, and I think he has managed to capitalize on some of the good aspects of his team, but again, you know, these just aren't the pieces that he really needs. Robbie with an excellent comeback in the chat.
That is a great comeback in the chat.
Can we get that on screen maybe in the video perhaps? We can just
this is fantastic. Yeah. Oh man, I've been taken out of the battle by these comments, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Okay, so surprising that Robbie actually goes into the Quagsire on Sylveon from Metagross, you know. I think that might have been a decent predict, but there you go.
Yeah, I just switch out.
Well, the thing is he's not healing on Metagross, so you know, I think he might have realized at this point that it's a war of attrition and he's not getting through it unless he starts making some riskier plays. And that Poltergeist, you know, could actually be decent. I believe Spiritomb gets Shadow Sneak, so that could have possibly had some potential there. But
it's dealing pretty substantial amount of damage. And this is not a normal set we see from a Robbie Spiritomb. Normally it's a Snarl, like stall set, and here we have a Poltergeist, and it's doing more than 50% every single time he uses it, which is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, but we are seeing Robbie starting to lose some of those offensive options for Melmetal. It's looking to me like Hariyama might be the only thing left. And there it goes from a Hyper Voice. So I don't really know what the plan is to deal with that Melmetal anymore. I don't actually know if that's able to be killed, since it has the Assault Vest for the Thunderous here. And, you know, with a grassy terrain up, Metagross Earthquake isn't going to be doing much.
It's just going to out heal these Sludge Bombs, the Wish Protect combo.
Right. Robbie just scouting for a Toxic here. That would be very nice to get that off, but doesn't look like it's going to be happening. And perhaps we even see Predict from Ayush going into Melmetal to catch one of those, but for now he's just going to try to get full health on the Sylveon, which I think is a pretty respectable play since he has the Heal Bell. But we do, we catch the Sludge Bomb, immunity, full health Metagross. I mean, Melmetal. And this game is looking over.
Yeah.
Double Iron Bash. Again, even resisting it, it seems like the move's guaranteed to do, 40%, because it's the same it did to Quagsire. Just really impressive damage output from Melmetal. One of Ayush's better picks for sure. And 26% into Assault Vest. Maybe Focus Blast could have done something, but Ayush does a smart play and just goes into Raikou to pick up that last kill, and that's the battle. Really strong showing from Ayush. It's a shame for Robbie because I do think the matchup didn't necessarily favor him. I think more than anything, Ayush has to make mistakes there than Robbie, making opportunities to win. So, respect to both players. I think Robbie did the most with what he had. And congratulations to Ayush.
Very nice job. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video, and give us any comments you have, and don't forget to join the Discord.